Gentlemen, let me ask you something. When you wake up in the morning, pour that first cup of coffee, maybe butter a piece of toast, do you ever stop for a second and wonder, am I really giving my body what it needs to keep the blood flowing, everywhere it needs to flow? And I don't just mean your hands and feet. I'm talking about vitality. Energy. That spark that used to be there without you even thinking about it. Maybe you've noticed it lately. Mornings don't feel quite the same. That pep in your step takes a little longer to show up. And some parts of your life, parts you might not talk about out loud, just aren't as strong as they used to be. Now here's the thing, circulation is about so much more than avoiding cold fingers or keeping your heart ticking. For men over 60, good circulation is the quiet engine behind confidence, stamina, and yes, your quality of life. But here's the problem. Most breakfasts we've been eating for years, they don't do us any favors. In fact, some of them are quietly slowing us down. And it's not just about what you shouldn't eat, it's about the powerful, natural foods you can add to your plate that help get things moving again, in more ways than one. And today, we're going to talk about exactly that. The breakfast combinations that boost blood flow down there, support your heart, and give you the kind of energy that carries you through your whole day, without relying on pills, gimmicks, or fads. So before you reach for that same old cereal tomorrow morning, watch this through. By the end, you'll know exactly what to put on your plate to keep you feeling alive, alert, and ready for whatever life throws your way. Now, before we dive in, I want you to do something for me. Drop a quick comment with the words, "I'm here," if you believe it's never too late to take control of your health. And if you're new here, subscribe to Elderly Wisdom Tips. The place where we help men like you stay strong, sharp, and confident in your later years. Let's start with something simple and powerful. Imagine this, you sit down at the breakfast table, and in front of you is a tall glass of deep, ruby red juice. At first glance, you might think, that's not my usual morning drink. But here's the thing, that rich color comes from one of nature's most underrated circulation boosters, beetroot. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Beets? Aren't those just for salads? Or maybe that odd side dish your grandmother used to make? That's the mistake most men make, they overlook beets as just another vegetable. But in reality, they are a quiet powerhouse for your blood flow. Here's why. Beets are packed with natural nitrates. And when you eat or drink them, your body converts those nitrates into something called nitric oxide. Think of nitric oxide as your body's own traffic controller for blood. It signals your blood vessels to relax and widen, making it easier for blood to flow everywhere it needs to go. And for men over 60, that's not just a nice bonus, that's vital. Because better circulation means better oxygen delivery, better stamina, and yes, better performance in those private areas you'd like to keep working well. Here's where most people go wrong, they either never buy beets at all, or they think the only way to eat them is boiled and bland. But here's the truth. You don't have to chew on a plate of cold beets to get the benefits. You could start your morning with a fresh beetroot juice, just one small glass before breakfast. Or, if you're more of a solid food person, roast some beets, slice them thin, and toss them into your morning omelet. The sweetness blends beautifully with eggs and spinach, and it gives you a nutrient boost before you even step out the door. And here's a little tip. Pair beets with something high in vitamin C, like a squeeze of lemon over your juice, to help your body absorb those nutrients even better. It's a small change, but when you make it part of your morning, you're giving your circulation a head start that can make a noticeable difference over time. And speaking of omelets, the next breakfast booster might already be sitting in your fridge, waiting to give you another big step toward better circulation. Back in the day, breakfast for a lot of us meant something simple, maybe a couple of fried eggs, a few strips of bacon, and a slice of white toast. It was filling, sure. It was comforting. But here's the thing, what we didn't know back then is that some of those choices weren't doing our circulation any favors in the long run. Now, don't get me wrong, eggs themselves aren't the enemy. In fact, the right kind of eggs can be one of the best things you put on your plate in the morning. I'm talking about omega-3 rich eggs. These are eggs that come from hens fed a diet high in omega-3 fatty acids, those same healthy fats you've probably heard are in fish like salmon, sardines, and mackerel. Here's why they matter. Omega-3 fatty acids help your blood vessels stay flexible. And flexibility is key, because when your arteries are stiff, your heart has to work harder to push blood through. Omega-3s also fight inflammation inside your blood vessels, which keeps that blood flowing smoothly to every corner of your body, including those sensitive areas where good circulation is essential for maintaining confidence and function. Now, there's a big misconception out there that I want to clear up. Some men avoid eggs completely because they're worried about cholesterol. But more recent research has shown that for most people, eating eggs in moderation, especially omega-3 enriched eggs, doesn't have the harmful effect on cholesterol we once thought. In fact, it can be part of a heart-friendly diet. And if you really want to take your breakfast to the next level, try pairing scrambled omega-3 eggs with a handful of fresh spinach. Spinach is loaded with nitrates, similar to beets, and together they make a double boost for your blood flow. It's a combination that fuels your body, supports your heart, and sets you up for a stronger, more energetic day. So tomorrow morning, instead of reaching for that bacon, consider cracking a couple of omega-3 eggs into the pan, adding some greens, and maybe even topping it off with a slice of ripe tomato. You'll still get that hearty, satisfying breakfast you're used to, but with far more benefits for your circulation and overall vitality. But healthy fats aren't the only trick to better mornings. Your choice of carbs matters just as much. And when you pick the right ones, they can become another powerful ally in keeping your blood moving the way it should. Picture this, it's a cool morning, maybe the sun's just coming up, and you've got a warm bowl of oats sitting in front of you. Steam is rising from the bowl, and on top, there's a handful of fresh blueberries, deep, dark, and bursting with color. It might look like a simple breakfast, but don't be fooled. This is one of the quiet powerhouses for keeping your circulation strong. Let's break down why. Oats are rich in something called soluble fiber, particularly a type called beta-glucan. This fiber helps lower your LDL, the bad cholesterol that can clog up your arteries over time. And when your arteries are clear and smooth inside, blood can flow more easily to every part of your body, from your brain to your toes, and yes, even to the places that matter for maintaining intimacy and vitality. Now, those blueberries? They're more than just a tasty topping. They're packed with anthocyanins, that's the natural pigment that gives them their deep blue color. Anthocyanins help protect and strengthen the walls of your blood vessels, making them more elastic and resilient. Stronger vessels mean better circulation, plain and simple. But here's where a lot of men go wrong. They'll start with oats and berries, but then they drown the whole thing in sugar, flavored syrups, or artificial creamers. And while it might taste sweet in the moment, all that added sugar can cause inflammation in your blood vessels and undo the very benefits you're trying to get. The fix is easy, let nature do the sweetening for you. The berries already bring a gentle sweetness, and if you want a little extra, drizzle just a touch of honey over the top. You get the flavor without sabotaging your health. This kind of breakfast fuels you in a steady way, no big spikes and crashes in your energy. It's the kind of meal that keeps your heart happy, your mind sharp, and your circulation working at its best long after you've put the spoon down. Now, oats and berries are a gentle way to boost your blood flow, but what if we could add something to your morning that wakes up your circulation in a much more noticeable way? Something with a little kick. You know, my grandfather had a little morning ritual that always made me curious when I was younger. No matter what he was eating. Eggs, toast, even his oatmeal, he would take out a small jar of ground cayenne pepper and sprinkle just the tiniest pinch over his breakfast. He used to say, "Keeps me warm in the winter and ready for the day." At the time, I thought it was just one of his quirky habits. But years later, I learned there was real science behind it. That deep, warming sensation you get from cayenne, or any chili pepper, comes from something called capsaicin. It's the compound that gives peppers their heat. And here's what's fascinating: capsaicin has the ability to help dilate your blood vessels. When your blood vessels open up, more blood can flow through them with less resistance. That means your heart doesn't have to work as hard, and your circulation gets a natural, gentle boost. For men over 60, that extra push in blood flow can make a noticeable difference, not just in your energy levels, but in maintaining healthy function in those areas where good circulation is absolutely essential. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. Spicy food? At my age? That's going to upset my stomach. And yes, if you go overboard, it can cause discomfort. But in moderate amounts, just a small pinch, you can get the benefits without the burn. In fact, for many men, a little spice actually helps digestion rather than harms it. The beauty of cayenne is that it's easy to work into your morning routine. Sprinkle a light dusting over scrambled omega-3 eggs for a warm, savory kick. Or, if you're a fan of avocado toast, add just a pinch on top before you take that first bite. It's a small habit, but over time, it can keep your blood moving in ways you can feel. And speaking of avocado toast, that brings us to the next breakfast booster, a creamy, nutrient-packed choice that's as satisfying as it is good for your circulation. Creamy avocado on warm toast. It's not just some trendy breakfast you see on social media for the younger crowd. No, this is a breakfast choice that has real staying power, and for men over 60, it can be a quiet game changer for your health. Picture this: you take a perfectly ripe avocado, slice it open, and spread that smooth, buttery green goodness across a piece of warm whole grain toast. You take a bite, it's rich, satisfying, and leaves you feeling full without being heavy. But what's really happening inside your body is where the magic lies. Avocados are packed with potassium, a mineral that plays a huge role in regulating your blood pressure. You see, high blood pressure can strain your heart and stiffen your arteries over time, making it harder for blood to travel where it needs to go. Potassium helps counteract that by balancing out the effects of sodium and keeping your blood pressure in a healthier range. But that's just the start. Avocados are also loaded with healthy monounsaturated fats, the kind of fat your body actually loves. These fats help keep your arteries flexible and your blood moving freely. And when your arteries are flexible, your circulation can respond quickly to your body's needs, whether you're going for a brisk walk, climbing the stairs, or keeping up with your partner. Now, a lot of men still shy away from avocado because they hear the word fat and immediately think it's bad for the heart. But the truth is, these are the exact fats your heart, and yes, other important areas, thrive on. They're the same kinds of fats found in olive oil and nuts, and they can actually help lower your bad cholesterol while supporting your good cholesterol. And here's how you can make this breakfast even better: pair that avocado with whole grain bread instead of white bread. Whole grains release energy slowly, keeping your blood sugar steady and giving you sustained fuel for the day ahead. No mid-morning crash, no sudden hunger pangs. Just steady, balanced energy and a body that's ready for whatever the day brings. It's the perfect combination: creamy avocado for your heart and arteries, whole grain for your energy and blood sugar. And the best part? It's quick, it's easy, and it feels like a treat every single time you eat it. Now that we've covered these 5 powerful breakfast boosters, it's time to bring it all together and talk about the bigger picture of what these small daily choices can do for your energy, your health, and your confidence. For many men, the loss of vitality can feel like losing a part of who they are. It's not just about energy, it's about identity. You remember what it felt like to wake up with drive, to move through your day without thinking twice about whether you had the stamina. And when that starts to fade, it can be frustrating, even disheartening. But here's the truth: it doesn't have to be that way. The way you feel right now is not set in stone. These simple breakfast choices we've talked about aren't just about improving circulation. They're about sending a message to your body: I still care, and I'm still in the game. Think about it. Every morning, you have an opportunity to set the tone for your entire day. You can keep doing what you've always done and get the same results, or you can start making small changes that point you in the direction you want to go. And here's the beautiful part. This isn't about overnight transformations or chasing something unrealistic. It's about small, doable steps. Add just one of these foods to your breakfast tomorrow. Stick with it for a week. Then notice how you feel, not just physically, but mentally. You might be surprised by how quickly your energy starts to shift, how much lighter you feel, and how much more ready you are to take on the day. Because here's what I know for certain: small changes stack up. They build on each other. And before you know it, you're not just eating differently, you're living differently. You're walking taller, you're feeling stronger, and you're proving to yourself that your best years aren't behind you. They can still be ahead. Your health is not about perfection, it's about persistence. It's about showing up for yourself every single day, in the little choices you make. And breakfast? That's one of the most powerful places to start. So, let's bring it all together. Remember the simple yet powerful lineup: earthy, circulation-boosting beets, omega-3, rich eggs or salmon for heart and vessel health, hearty oats topped with dark berries to strengthen and protect, just a pinch of cayenne to warm and energize, and creamy avocado on whole grain toast for lasting fuel and stable blood pressure. These aren't exotic superfoods you have to hunt down. They're everyday ingredients that can help restore your energy, improve blood flow, and give your mornings a whole new life. Now, I want to hear from you. Which of these will you try first? Will it be the beetroot juice for that morning burst? Maybe the omega-3 omelet to keep your heart strong? Or perhaps you already have your own breakfast ritual that keeps you going. If so, share it in the comments. Your idea might be exactly what someone else needs to hear today. And if you found even one tip here that you're ready to put into action, make sure you stay connected with us. Hit that subscribe button and join our growing family here at Elderly Wisdom Tips, where we share practical, science-backed ways to stay healthy, strong, and confident after 60. Every video is made to give you something you can use right away, not just ideas, but habits you can build into your life. So take this knowledge, put it on your plate tomorrow morning, and see what changes in a week, a month, a year. Because your health story isn't over, it's still being written. Stay wise. Stay well. And as always, I'll see you in the next video.